Alright, see if this is all running here. Okay, looks like we are probably live. We're gonna give this a try, see how well it works here, shall we? Okay. I think that's everything. Okay, you are a military transporter. We're not going to worry about you too much. How's everything? See how that works, yeah? Oh, okay. Hey Zeron, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Happy Tuesday. Hopefully it's Tuesday. If it's Wednesday, then happy Wednesday to you. I don't think anybody's in the Wednesday time zone yet. I know our Kiwi friends tend to be a little bit ahead of us, so good. Glad to hear it. Chozo, I'm doing good. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Alright, so we're going to be doing a little bit of work in one of the hangars. I don't know which hangar yet. Probably not this one. This is our utility hangar. Let's head over to the other side of the ship. This battle carrier has grown significantly. Watching glory, awesome. Alright, so let's see here. Now we have a transporter over there. Now I still haven't decided how I want to do the interior of these hangars. I'm kind of liking the this ribbed look. The other option is to have the entire roof basically double layered. So we'll figure it out. Actually, I want to set you to off because we are going to depressurize this room. Let's go ahead and get up here. All right. You know what? Hell with it. We've got plenty of ice. I'm not going to worry about it too much. Of course, it helps if I have my my helmet on. Do I miss DX9 and DX10 for Space Engineers? Actually, yes, I do. I really do miss the DX9 implementation. A lot of the things like the conveyors, I like the old windowed conveyor option that you used to have. So for those who don't know, when they went to the DX11, because it supported a lot more textures and different surfacing, they basically upped their ante on the way that these are rendered. And on the old system, these side panels actually were windows. So you could, you didn't actually see anything traveling through it, but I kind of liked the look of it a little bit better because it allowed you to put like light sources behind it, and you would actually have lights coming through your conveyor system. Shauna, how you doing? Long time no see. Welcome back. Welcome to the stream. So for those who haven't seen the ship yet, we'll head over to the sun side of the ship over on the port. It is a glorious day here at the shipyard. Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. The only thing I really miss about DX9 is those damn conveyor tubes. So yeah, this is the battle carrier I've been working on. There have been a few changes since the last time I showed it off. We now have all of our exterior cannons, all of the anti-fighter stuff piped in on both the top and bottom. I'm going to be doing some work on the lighting system probably this week. So I'm thinking Thursday's live stream will probably come back and actually start working on the big ship again. But for today, I want to get a little bit. I'm going to get some smaller ships built. So Well, Xeron, to be fair, very few things would survive an encounter with the VRM. So, oh, and yeah, this is not a ship that's really meant for PvP. It's a PvE. Just go out and maybe mess with like some of the things in corruption a little bit. So. It's been nice chatting with Lucas in the Armco chat. He's over there on the Space Engineers group every once in a while. He drops in. So it's always fun to see the stuff he's working on for the corruption stuff. Nice. I thought you were talking about the that big frigate. There's a big frigate that's been making its way around, and it's just decimating things. So, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm gonna start working on a small ship. It's still early for me. I'm a little distracted today. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this block, I think. So we're going to take that one out, and what we're going to do is we're going to put in a mag block here. Let's go with the full cube. I like these things simply because they make your life so much easier when you're building ships. And I don't have a single connector over here. Son of a... doesn't that figure? Alright. It was one of the frigates that I think Lucas is working on. He's got, I think it was a frigate. Did I have a connector in here? I don't remember if I put a connector in here or not. Did I put a connector in this one? I think there's a connector in here. Nope. Add that to the list of things to get done today. One ship against a faction. Alright. And the nice thing about having easy inventory, one click, we have all of our parts. Okay. Get back in here now. I actually should have brought the parts back for a connector too. Alright. Let's go ahead and get this welded up. Now I do have the bobs installed on the ship. I've got like 5 of them in this thing. But I'm not going to be turning them on anytime in the near future because every time I do, the sim speed while streaming drops drastically. So now while we're here, let's go ahead and, before I forget, let's go ahead and put a connector in here. No, I want regular connector. Thank you. There we go. And then this way we can have part access. You are getting very close there, Mr. Transporter. We might have to have some words here shortly. Whoop. Damn it. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. Now I should have some steel plates on me. I do. I have some scrap as well. Not sure where the scrap came from, but that's okay. Whoop, nope. Don't want you in there. I want you in there. There we go. Alright, so let's get this ship started, shall we? Oh, let's see here. We're going to do landing gear. I haven't really been using landing gear all that much lately. We are going to go like a so. Alright, let's try that again. There we go. Oh, son of a... I hate the new block rotation thing. That, because if you're off just a little bit, when your targeting focus changes. There we go. Okay. That's, at least we can get stuff done now. Well, like I said, you know, it's... Oh, come on, really? This new targeting, man. Oh, they changed the... I never noticed that before. Huh. They changed the blocks a little bit. Interesting. That's what I get for using heavy armor. Alright, so we're gonna... The ship we're gonna do is this gonna be a little scout. So we want something that's gonna be somewhat streamlined. Easy to handle. Get rid of all of this stuff. We just want the regular blocks. We're gonna grab regular blocks. Let's see, we're gonna need a cockpit. Let's see what we got in here. Oh, could use the ball cockpit. I haven't used this in a actual build yet. Let's try it. And then we're gonna do medium cargo, because it doesn't have to have a lot of cargo space because it is just a scout. So let's go one up. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our, let's see here, do we want to go, I think we want to go, actually we want to go this way because I believe the ball cockpit has a small connector on it. Let's grab some plates. There they are. There we go. What would you do if I was on the bridge of a Star Destroyer that was going down in flames? That's a great question. I'm not sure. I would probably find the nearest officer, shoot them in the face, and then start a grand melee on the bridge. I mean, if you're going to go out, you may as well go out fighting, right? I guess it would depend on if I was in charge of said Star Destroyer or not. If I was in charge of said Star Destroyer and I was on the bridge and it was going down in flames, I had already failed because I was still on the bridge when it was going down in flames. My ship, yes, my ship is modded. I've got 4 heavy or 4 large shield emitters on board. We've got the armored gates for the hangar doors. We have the passageways mod in for some of the window areas. And then I've got the air vent mod, which allows you to use which have 2 conveyor blocks. One being the wedge, as you see here, and the other is a regular conveyor block, also with a air vent face on it. All right, so we got that. We got that. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And I apologize if I sound a little under the weather. I am a little stuffy today. The weather in the Bay Area has been a little hectic, so. If I was in command and it was going down in flames, like I said, yeah, I would have already failed at that point. Because for a Star Destroyer to go down in flames, you had to really royally screwed up somewhere. So yeah, I actually have them on. I have both of the console mod packs. I have the oh, what was it called? So I have the command console pack installed, and then I also have, where is the other one? The PZK mod pack, and there was another console pack. I don't know if I have it installed, actually. Yeah, I don't have the other mod pack installed, but there's a new one that was done by, I think, Sectan. And I actually have it in my list. I just don't have it actively installed on this particular save right now, but it will be getting at it. As far as seeing the bridge, yeah, sure. We'll take a quick tour around the ship. So that's our temporary jump drive. I haven't finished the engineering section. As you can see, we have main engineering that's down here. So we've got all of our reactors. Two of the shield generators are in the aft portion of engineering where we are now. And if you go all the way up into the battle edge area where the battleship cannons are mounted, there are 2 more large shield generators up there fully upgraded as well. Thanks, Chozo. And yeah, the guys that are working on the person who is working on the passageway mod has been crazy with the updates. We now have the airlock mod. This is actually, that airlock door is part of the passageway mod now. So coming up into the upper area, we have our little break room with, of course, Mr. Coffee. I would install Mr. Radar, but he doesn't do anything for us, so. So coming up from the crew break area, you come into a split hallway. We have a passage window right here, so you can see the VIP little reception area. And then this brings you out into the bridge itself. There you go. So, why is my preview? Sorry, my preview screen was ridiculously tiny. Couldn't see anything. There we go. Alright, so from the bridge, you have the upper command area. So you have your captain, senior officer, senior staff area up here. You have your pilot, co-pilot navigation stations, and then you have your ops stations on either side. Now the ops stations up here are the flybridge control decks for the port and starboard hangar areas, as well as fighter control. So you'd actually, some of the guns and things like that. So yeah, but this is the bridge that we have. This is our fly bridge. I am going to put a combat bridge in as well. For those who don't know, if you do anything with Space Engineers and PvP, you don't want to have an actual bridge exposed like this. This is really just fantasy ship / PvE style builds. But we will be putting a actual fully functional combat bridge in as well. I'm glad you enjoyed the bridge. I think I spent more time detailing that bridge than any other bridge build that I've done to date. So come through here, and the entire ship is pressurized now, so we have actually gotten all of our envelopes completely sealed off. This takes you out to the spinal boarding area. This is basically a VIP shuttle landing. You can see the bridge there. Also makes it easy to get in and out of the ship when you're doing stuff around the ship. So go over this way, and this is going to be another kind of like a little rest area, visitor location. We're going to put some tables and stuff in here, and probably I'm using Cregan's Sith mod, which actually has some bookcases, which we'll be putting down this hallway here. And then we'll come back through this way. And this just brings you back into what will eventually be the back entrance into medical. We'll have a stair system in here, and then we'll have a small medical area over here. And in the forward section, I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll have this door here split. So there will basically be one entrance this way. It'll take you into medical. This will take you back into a hallway that'll lead you over to this door. And then this portion will probably be like this forward section. When I close this in, will be like a conference area. Yeah, please do. Feel free to shoot me a message. YouTube is, I'm running YouTube's generic bots, so they may block you for posting links. But definitely hit me up on Steam. Link is actually in the description for the live stream. You can find me over on Steam and send me a message over there, or hit me up on Twitter. It's just same username, Halidmer. Yeah, Chozo, the Passageway mod has become, I think, my my mandatory must be in all of my playthroughs now. Even if I use no other mod, that mod will most likely be in there. So we now need to get back to excuse me. So let's go for our oxygen generator. Okay, so we do not want to be trapped without oxygen. So we're gonna throw 2 of those on there. Now we have a small connector on the back of this, so let's go for our large reactor. Because the only thing worse than running out of oxygen is running out of power. We got oxygen, we've got power, small amount of cargo. Now we're going to need thrusters, and we're going to need a framework. Let's bring this back up. All right. So we know that there's a connector there. Oh, you know what we don't have? We don't have a docking collar of any kind. I'll have to figure something out about that. Let's take a look here. Because the medium cargo only have the large on either side. You know what? Let's do that. I know what we'll do. All right, so we're gonna flip the cargo around a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the cargo. We're actually gonna rotate it that way. And then we can use the round cockpit. Let's try. All right. So there's a connector directly on the back of the seat that will tie into your cargo networks on small grids, so that if you have oxygen, you'll be able to use it. Get that out of there, get that out of there. I'm gonna have to replenish my oxygen here shortly. And I think we're actually going to put the connector on top, and we'll put the oxygen underneath. Military mine layer? How do you like the military mine layer? I looked at the model on it, but I haven't taken one over. Really? I might have to change my stance on the military mine layer then. Let's go refill our O2 very quickly. So each fighter bay has a rec room, or a stateroom like this, where it's just a you know, it's got like 5 or 6 beds in each one. So that way if you use this in multiplayer, you can actually use it as a fleet ship. And again, the entire system is piped into the supply line. So you can actually... Where did my bottles go? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Let's grab a couple of bottles, shall we? I had a small incident with one of the pirate ships. I went over and I thought had been captured. So as you can see here, we've got 2 on this side, got the vent over here, and 2 bunk beds on this side, and then obviously the blaster windows. So I still need to do a flight deck area here. I'm going to be using the other console pack, and like I said, I think it was Sectan that made the new one. It's a little bit more futuristic, and I think I'm going to use it over here on the fighter launch. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, like I said, I really like the pirate ship builds. I need to do more with capturing them and refitting them, but... Alright. So we've got all of this. We'll take that out before we weld it up. We're going to do connector on the top. Regular connector. Now, did he update his mod pack? Did I not load it? There's Imperial. There's Sith. Really? Oh, I guess I didn't load the mod, huh? I wanted to use the what is it, Improved Tech, which is another one of the mods by Krieg. Because there's some thrusters that he's been working on that I was really interested in using, but for now, I guess we will have to just do the let's just do mod thrusters for now, I guess. So grab one of those, grab those, and grab those. Actually, you know what? Let's do this in a more logical order this time. Would it make a difference if I was on a Separatist frigate instead of a Star Destroyer? No, not really. I think that when you get into capital ship command structure, steel tubes. When you're at that level, basically you need to be thinking very far ahead, and if you have failed to do so, you know, that's the only time you're going to be in a situation where you're going to lose the ship. Basically, when you're talking capital ship, like fleet movements, at that point, it really does come down to the fleet that was better prepared. And I want you there, and we're going to flip you there, and that leaves me a room to put a gyro in right there. And what we'll do for the sides, so that we don't burn our, because we don't want to burn things off of the ship. Actually, you know what? Let's wait until we get to the point where we're ready to skin. But I do want the laterals there. Couple of missile turrets. Yeah, the missile turrets are probably the biggest threat on most of the pirate builds, just because when they put them in, they usually have so many of them that you need a ridiculous number of cannons to shoot them down if you get within the range. If you're not able to get into blindside on them. That mining carriage Yeah, I'm almost tempted to shoot you down, buddy. If he gets within 1.2, the cannons are going to get him automatically, so. Alright, so we've got that. Let's bring a bit of framework out here. So we'll do that. Okay, so if we're going with this, We'll have thrusters, we'll have... okay, I think we can do this. I think we can get it to do what I want it to do. And since we have a connector on top now, we're going to have O2 on the bottom. So, yes, this should work. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this out like so. And then that allows us to mount straight across. Okay. There we go. And then what we do is rotate this. There we go. I'm actually thinking I might bring this back a little bit further. Let's see here. If we go like that. Now, do I want to do... For those who don't know, I am... Oh, crap. I just broke the reactor. Oh. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? I have a tendency of pre-greebling, so you will get to see a lot of just like, what the hell are you doing kind of things. So, yeah, I went out. There we go. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fit this around the thruster. So you're going to go that way. You're going to go that way. And then we're going to go... Let's go like this with it. And then that'll be our thruster mounting area. And I'm thinking we're going to go... Let's go a little bit more stylized with this side of it. Hey Demon, how you doing? Welcome to the series. The mod at cockpit mod? Which mod at cockpit? The one that I'm using? Sure. The one I'm using on this build, I should say. So it's the ball cockpit, which I don't remember which mod that was in. I want to say... I don't think it's M Masters, no. I don't know if they have it. Fairly certain it's not Digi, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they have it set up to show up on their own tab. I might be wrong. But I'm fairly certain they don't have it in here. Yeah, they don't have it set up for their own, but if you look on the workshop for the ball cockpit, it should show up. Oh, you're watching the Medieval Engineers? Yeah. Yeah, I've now that I've finished my my business degree, I have a lot more time on my hands, at least during the evenings and weekends, so I'm able to actually do a lot more games now. You should be seeing the Stationeers coming to the channel this week, actually starting tomorrow. The first video of that will drop. I did the live stream on Twitch side, and that video I think was today or yesterday, I don't remember. But the rest of the series will be the rest of this week, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Friday's live stream over on Twitch. I'm not sure which game we're going to do yet. I might do some more Medieval Engineers over there. It might be Darth, yeah. For the ball cockpit. Which is weird if it is Darth, because Darth is usually good about putting in the block inventory information. So, and what we're going to do for the for braking thrust is we're going to have the braking thrust mounted here across the top, or maybe the bottom. We'll see when we put the O2 generator in. I don't think the O2 generator is tall enough to clear the bottom of the block, though. Well, maybe it is. If it is, what we'll do is we'll split it so half of the reverse thrust will be up here and half of the reverse thrust will be down here. But we'll see. Alright. So you are going like so. Go ahead and grab you. And that. Alright, so that should give us that. Now we have to now we get to reverse engineer everything we just built. Which hopefully shouldn't be too much, but we'll see. Right. Like I said, this is just a little runabout. It's not meant to be anything drastically brutal or anything like that. So you are center lined there. Center line there. Okay, that's right. So we're gonna do that and that. Come back to this. And basically, like I said, what we're doing is we're just trying to get our lines figured out here. And you're going to come up this way, and then we do half block on top. And you are thruster. There we go. And since you are that way, and then we'll have, so basically we have vent, vent. Okay. Now what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna say, since we know that 1, 2, 3, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can actually place this like so on both sides. See? And they sit nicely in there, right? Sky Wanderers? I haven't actually done anything with Sky Wanderers. I need to catch up on that. So no mini warship panda. No, no, no. This is a scout ship. It's not meant to be a warship. I'm not even putting weapons on this thing, or not planning to at least. I might revisit that, but we'll see. So we're gonna go. Can't really mount anything there, so let's. How about? So if we do that instead, and we bring those out. Like that. That might work. Let's try that. And you go there. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can close this off and give it a little bit of armor. Now, obviously this isn't going to do much in the way of actual protection. I mean, these are just light armor blocks for, you know, just making something a little bit of a runabout, you know. So if we do that, that leaves the reactor open, which is fine for now. All right. So let's go ahead and weld some of this stuff up. Whoop. Not shoot it, weld it. This way we can get a better idea of what we've got so far. Decide if we like the lines or not, because if we don't like the lines, I don't want to do too much more. And there we go. So that'll be thruster, that's thrusters. Maybe, this might work. Lost in Space remake? Oh, I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, it's for like the last 2 years I have not been able to keep up on a whole lot of sci-fi stuff, unfortunately. So if it's something that came out in the last couple of years, I probably haven't seen it, unfortunately. The last thing that sci-fi wise I was able to even slightly keep up on was the first season of Expanse. I know, bad sci-fi panda, right? Alright, there we go. So yeah, I'm kind of liking the lines. I think that looks. I think that'll work. Back from the 90s? Oh, are you talking about, oh, that remake? Chozo? Yeah. Wow. Alright. I thought you were saying, because I thought there was another one that was remade. I thought there was a remake of that. Like they were supposed to be doing a, because they did the Lost in Space movie remake back in the 90s. I think it was back in the 90s, maybe the early 2000s. I didn't think they redid the series, though. Yeah, that one. The remake that was somehow more cringeworthy than the original. And the original was pretty cringe, so. It's good stuff, though. Let's see what we're doing. I want to grab this. Thanks for the invite, Zyron. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time available to jump in on group organizations like that. Let me see here. Here. Oh. So I can pay visit every once in a while, but I unfortunately I can't dedicate to a lot, because organizations like that generally require a lot of time, and I just unfortunately don't have that in my schedule right now. Yeah, the robot revisit was nice. So yeah, Zyron, the old Lost in Space series, there was a movie remake based on the original series back in the late 90s, I think. I don't remember who was in it, but they did the same thing that all the other, like the late 90s, early 2000 remakes did, where they took all of the really cringe elements of the movies and basically ran with them. It's like oh, what's his name? Johnny Depp in the Dark Shadows remake, where they took everything way too far. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't good either. It was it was one of those you could take it or leave it kind of situations, but it was a fun movie. I mean, it's just, if you'd ever seen the original Lost in Space series or the movie that they did for it back in the 70s, I think, it was interesting. We'll leave it at that. All right, so I'm gonna grab. Yes, I know. I just put the plates back in. Oh, all right. So we got all of that. We're about ready for the large reactor. Actually, I'm gonna have to drop those plates off again because I want the components for this. All right. So number 8, I want that to go small. There we go. I should be able to get to the reactor. Show you a little cheat for those who may not know. So when you're building things in Space Engineers, you know how you have to have your we're gonna go. Let's just go and grab 20 out. You basically have to have the ship powered up when you're building it. So you generally have to put a little jump starter on there. If you leave something like this thruster done, you can still get to the access point. Drop your uranium in and then power it up, or then weld this up. So, how many do you need? You need 10. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 so far. So 110 thruster components. Do we have any thruster components? Oh, we do. Okay. Awesome. And we need to tuck some gyros in, which are actually going to be under these, I think, because I think we have a full block in there. Alright, so we have forward, we have left and right lateral, we have up and down, or ascent and descent, as the case may be. Hey, the original Twilight Zone was like the sci-fi horror masterpiece of the time, man. There was some good stuff in there. Oh, let's see. Like I said, I think we can squeeze in a gyro in here. Yeah. And let's go ahead and grab the parts for that. Easy inventory for the win. All right. All right, so we have those. And we want you to be put back in there. There we go. Alright, so now we need to figure out where are we putting our reverse thrust. Since we have all of this done, let me go over here. What we're going to do is we're going to grab, there we go, grab that mag lock that we installed. Oh, leave you on first. We're going to unlock and then we're going to turn off. There we go. And we do that so we can do this. There we go. And okay, so now we need our O2 system. And if I miss anybody's message, I apologize in advance. It is nothing personal. I just a little distracted right this second. When I'm a little less distracted, I try to catch up on the the messages. Oh. Oh, outer limits, yes. Outer Limits and Twilight Zone, man. That's bringing back some great memories. Some horrifying memories in some cases, but... Alright, so... How many did we do on the back here? We did 1... So we got 5. So if we do 3 on the bottom, this might work. Steel tubes, okay. So we just need like a few of those. Actually, nah, we'll leave them. That's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna put 1 there. One there. Okay. And let's go ahead and do this. Get rid of these. Grab that one. And that one. So I need parts for 5 of those. There we go. Come on. All right, so we have everything powered up. Let's take her out. Let's see what she handles like really quick. Take a look around. Good visibility. Oh, hello. Zippy little thing. Now we'll need a name for her, but look at that. That is awesome. Whee! So we still need to put some spotlights on her. We still need probably an ore detector or something. Oh, yes. And obviously a oxygen generator. All right. All right. Now, before we go too much further, let's set this thing up here a little bit. All right, so we're going to grab this. We're actually going to call this... Oh. Great memories and Dolly Parton had great assets. Yes. Oh. Hi, Admiral. Bamboo Racer? Maybe. We're gonna call it a Scout for right now until we figure out what's going on with it. And we want I'll come back and rename it if we come up with something that we want to call it as a, you know. All of you. We're going to do a group. And we don't want to see those in there, so get rid of those. Scout, Scout. Oh, I don't generally want this in the terminal, but I do want it in there. Actually, before we do that, I also don't want it in the toolbar config. Don't want those in the toolbar config. And the reason I'm doing this is because I use the grouping for it instead of the individual thrusters. It just helps keep the toolbar config a little bit more manageable. So when we're in here, see how it only the stuff I really want shows up. And we're gonna go you there. We're gonna have you do a switch lock. Come over to groups. We have our thruster group. Have that toggle blocks on off. Okay, this thing might be a little too touchy. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so while you are there, let's go ahead and hop out. I'm gonna need to redo those. So we'll have to remove the thrusters. We'll bring it into the two-part ramp, the upper section of the two-part ramp, to bring that in line. Yeah, so we're gonna have to rework the upper section a little bit. That's not too bad though. Aw. Sorry to hear it, Demon. I'm assuming Basil was your, oh, what is that thing? The big shark. Oh. It's been so long since I played the Megalodon, that's it. So O2. Can we get in there? We can. Okay. So that is that. And now we just need the medium cargo. We'll swap in right here. Can we get to it? Oh, maybe I can get to it back here, I think, right? Ah, crap. Oh. I got too used to having Bob on here, so it's like, there we go. The disadvantage of having Bob all the time. There we go. Alright, so we're going to grind this down for a second. And we're going to have to grind this one down again. Always have to be careful with the fully upgraded grinders because they grind materials so quickly that I always overgrind things, and on a small ship that it just rips them apart. Unfortunately, this does mean I'm gonna have to go back in and reconfigure up the thrusters again. Alright. Alright. So that is our scout. So now the rest of it is just tying stuff together here. Let's go. We're gonna go with a basic strap system here. I'm out of steel plates. Come on. Whoop. Gotta get down here just a little bit. Come on. There we go. Come on. It'd be easier if I moved the ship, but that would be no fun, because then, you know. Ah, alright, fine, I'll move the ship. There we go. Oh, Basilosaur. Nice. Yeah, Ark's a fun game, and I ran into some issues. Well, I don't want to say issues. I fell out with their design principle back before they started doing all of the updates. Basically, they went into a period where the high end, like the really high end gear, was basically only within the reach of the people who were in what they call alpha tribes. Basically, these giant organizations that controlled the server that they were playing on. And then once you had it, it was so much better than everything else that you could get into the game that the only way to be competitive was basically to get it on another server and then transfer your entire group over to a server you wanted to raid. But yeah, Space Engineers keeps calling me back. Has for more than a few years now. So, okay, what did I need? I was in here for, oh, plates. That's right. See, I got distracted. Yeah, but it's unfortunate because I really did enjoy Ark for probably like the first, I don't know, year or so that I played it. And then, like I said, they just focused too much on the PvP aspects of it because that was when survival of the fittest and that type of gameplay was starting to come into its own with the game. I'll take that out. But I'm glad that it's been as successful as it has. I heard that they have the Play as a Dino servers back up again, so get to play as the monsters. Yeah, Chozo, a lot of the reworking that they've been doing for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so has been about the rebalancing of like the top tier gear. Which is why they've been releasing some, like, there's the new UI systems, all the new dinos. There's less focus on the dinos now. If you've played the Aberration mod, well, it's not mod, but if you've if you've played the Aberration expansion, they went back and they've really removed the dependency on the dinos. So. Which I was happy to see, but again, it was, let's see here, you know, it's just differences in what people want, and I was just one of those people who I was there more for the, you know, the Pokemon aspect of it. I really shouldn't use that name because, you know, Nintendo is gonna demonetize me. Oh, whoops, too late. Yeah, so in the base game, with all of the changes, I haven't kept up on all of the changes, but I have noticed that they have gone back and revisited some of the things that people like myself had complaints with. So, well, I'll probably get back into it at some point. It's just between Space Engineers, Stationeers, Medieval Engineers, and a couple of other things that I've been working on. Just have not had the time, unfortunately. And that's another one of those games that you kind of need to dedicate a lot of time to if you want to get things done in it. Alright, so... okay. So it's small, it's ugly, it's a HAL build. I ruined your tech armor. I did nothing of the sort. I actually never even filed a formal complaint about any of the balancing and stuff in that game. Like I said, as always, my thing is so for those who don't know, I worked in the gaming industry, like actually worked in the gaming industry as QA for one of the platform groups for about 7 years, and then I spent the 7 years after that working in product management and project management for the same company. So about 15 years, including like contract time and everything, all said, told, and done. So I've worked in various aspects of the company, and my thing is that the developers of the game, like the actual development team, have a vision for what they want. It's the marketing guys, the business folks, when they start getting involved, that the delivered on vision is different than the actual vision that they hold for the game. And so my thing is that customers will always say they like this, they don't. The problem is that if you sell 1 million copies, you're always going to have some outlying percentage that doesn't like an aspect. It's inevitable with that many people looking at a product, right? So for me, it's always been let the design team and development team build what they want, and if you don't like it, don't buy it. You know, yes, when there are things where something is completely broken and out of balance, yeah, you complain about that, but there are people who will complain about with like Ark. Some of the complaints that I've seen were, you know, there are dinos involved in my sci-fi game. It's like, well, the premise of the game is that you go out and capture dinosaurs. So, but that's my my industry rant for now. Let's go out and take a look at the transport. Because that is... I'm waiting to see if we can bait in some of the fighters. Will we trigger it? If we get inside 800, it should trigger. All right. And there should be... There's the assailant. Okay, that's what we wanted. See if he's going to follow us in. Well, the tech armor does take a lot to get to it now. But when you're in a situation with an alpha guild or an alpha tribe, it's not difficult to get, especially if you're playing on one of the unmodded maps. Like if you're playing on the original island map, an alpha tribe on island, you have all of the materials locked down, and it's ridiculously easy. Even in like a PvE setting, like solo play in PvE, you can have tech armor within... Well, you used to be able to have it within a couple of hours of you first starting the game, if you knew what you were doing. Yeah, Chozo, and you know, to be fair, some of the complaints leveled against Keen are legit, right? Because there are things that have been in the game for, at this point, years, that people have been asking for changes on. And unfortunately, Keen continues to not change things, where they change things and break them. And hey, look at this. Whoops, gotta get out of the line of fire before it shoots me. Oh, was that evil or what? Oh, man. Oh. Oh, okay. That makes me feel a little bit better. Sorry, had to do it. I love messing with the pirates in this game. And before anyone asks, no, I do not have the corruption PvE mod on the save turned on right now. Corruption, because of the mods that I'm running, corruption breaks a lot. Well, I shouldn't say break. They have a hacker bot that basically will destroy my ships without even trying. I need to actually redo. I'm gonna do a playthrough of corruption, or a playthrough with corruption enabled from the start, just to see how bad it is, and I'll probably do that starting next week. So for those that are interested, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe so you'll be able to see it. I'll probably end up live streaming parts of it. Maybe not the beginning of the game, because I'm going to start on the planet side. So it's basically going to be a lander building a small base and then starting ship production. And that's, everyone's seen that 100 times, so. The little scout against 3 frigates, it would probably be okay as long as it didn't take a hit. It would only be able to take 1 hit, though, which is why I have it set up to be so maneuverable. It's TIE fighter doctrine. It's cheap, it's easy to produce, and ridiculous maneuverable, so it's going to be able to avoid a lot of the heavier weapons. But you get something that's within its maneuverability class that's a little bit heavily armored and better armed. It's going to blow it out of the air. The thing is that outside of missiles, the small grid ships, most likely, depending on the way that the frigates are set up, most small fighters won't stand a chance to do damage against a frigate. Basically, they would just be used to distract the cannons, while slightly bigger, better armed vehicles come in, like torpedo bombers and such. And that's basically what I would do in real life. It's like, if I wanted to take on a capital ship, I would send something in that had a good chance to survive by maneuverability. Let that distract whatever the targeting or whoever, like the cannon, gun operators and such. Let them focus in on that, and then hit from probably about 90 degrees off center of that. So, if you were coming in on port, have your distraction come in from port, moving towards bow, basically like on an intercept. And then have your main cannons coming in from either port aft or aft towards starboard. That way the guns are completely out of position when you get into range. Yeah, Demon, Ark is one of those games early game, once you've gotten to the point where you're completely comfortable with the game, to me at least, it's one of those games that's the beginning is usually the most fun for me, but Ark is pretty much the exact opposite of that. Early game is kind of boring because all you're doing is walking around smacking trees until you have enough stuff to get at least to the wood tier. Your T-Rex army. Yeah, I can see how you'd miss a T-Rex army. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and call this one here. I want to thank you all for stopping in today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun hanging out with you and chatting about all sorts of stuff. Like I said, as we are now in the new year, I am on the new schedule for streaming. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I am streaming over here on YouTube. So if you want to be kept up to date, or you want to see the behind-the-scenes videos that I release during the week, definitely be sure to subscribe. If you are over on the Twitch side, I am over there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Same username, easy to find me over there. And yeah, so I want to thank you again for stopping in. If you enjoyed it, hit those likes. Hope to see you back here next time. And as always, folks, take care and be safe out there, everybody. Always a pleasure, Chozo. Always a pleasure.